Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Chelsea and this is my end of the year TBR video. I kind of decided just to make a major list of all the reading that I want to get done by the end of the year. We're already in September. Instead of doing like a monthly TBR, I think I just have a lot of stuff that I've saved for the fall time, just based on like theme and spookiness and more like fall kind of fantasy reads. And then I have a handful of physical TBR books that I would really love to get through by the end of the year. There's still a few new releases that are coming out in these last couple months of the year. Very anticipated reads that I definitely want to get to too. And then I also took a little look at like my 24 books I wanted to read in 2024 and kind of just reassess where I'm at with that, see if those books are still a high priority for me or if there's something I can move on to next year. So anywho, I'm not gonna go too deep into any of these like plot-wise. I'm just gonna kind of go through my list and just like state why I'm interested in reading them. Like I said, some of them are literally just fall vibes. Some of them are just books I've been wanting to read for a while, or they're part of a series I've been reading. So this will be a very spoiler-free video, just in case you're wondering. But I have quite the list, so let's get started. Okay, just grab my laptop here. I first want to go through some of the books that are coming out in the next couple of months. 4 of them are fantasy romances, and one is just more of a contemporary romance. And these are going to be priority reads. I'll probably read them as soon as they come out. First book is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, which is by Carissa Broadbent. This book is going to be part of her Crowns of Nyaxia series. I'm a big fan of Carissa Broadbent's writing. I really liked that duology. My understanding of this book is that it's going to be the first in another duology that's set in this world, featuring a character that we've seen in the other books and is someone that I've liked a lot. So I think this will be very fun. I've enjoyed every book that I've read from Carissa Broadbent so far, so I'm definitely anticipating this to be a 5-star read. It doesn't come out till November though, so we got a little while. Then we have Stephanie Garber has a new book coming out, Spectacular. It is set in the Caraval world. Caraval is a series, it's a YA fantasy romance series that I read last year, and then I read the, what was it called? Once Upon a Broken Heart series too. So I think this is a shorter book. It's set around Christmas time, and it's probably going to feature a lot of those Caraval characters that we really liked. And I'm assuming maybe even the Once Upon a Broken Heart characters will be part of it too. I think this comes out in October, I have in my notes, but I don't know. Part of me thinks I'll probably read it the second it comes out, but maybe I'll try to hold off and read it more around the holiday season. It's a shorter book. I don't think it's technically a novella, but I think it's only like 200 something pages. That's why I think I might read it. But I love Stephanie Garber's writing, and if you haven't read Caraval, it's such a fun, like, whimsical story. And it's one of my favorite, like, YA fantasy stories. I'm very excited. Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling is coming out later this month at the end of September. This is a book that I've been really excited about because I had the original like independently published book that I read last year. So this is super exciting for this author and this book. It's getting traditionally published, and it's the first book in a fantasy romance series. I liked the other version a lot. I know they made a lot of changes and edits, and I believe some stuff's been added. I think I saw a lot of potential with that series. There's dragons. There was a really great love story, if I remember. The romance was really great. A lot of action and a lot of like heists and that kind of thing. So this will be fun. I think it's supposed to be a larger series too, so I think it'll be fun to read it. And like I said, I think it comes out in a couple of weeks, so very soon, very soon. A Rain of Roses by Kate Golden. This also comes out in October. This is the third, and I believe it's the final book in the Sacred Stones trilogy, which was A Dawn of Onyx and Promise of Peridot. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I'm thinking I'm gonna like it a lot. The way the second book left off, there was a major cliffhanger, and I really just like the vibe of this world, the writing. The second book was okay for me. It felt a little little like a filler book at times, but like I said, the cliffhanger was really awesome, and I just really like the romance in this book, so I think I will like the ending. And then Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage is the only contemporary romance that I have on this list. This is part of the, I think it's called the Bluebell Ranch series, so it's like a cowboy romance. I've been really excited for this specific coupling. I've liked the first 2 books of this series a lot, and there's a lot of like setup and foreshadowing for this couple in particular. So I've been really excited to get to this book, just because they're sort of like, not enemies, but they don't really like each other and they clash a lot in the other books. So I think I'm gonna really enjoy this romance because I just tend to like that a lot. And I think there's also a 4th book's been announced that'll be coming out next year, which is really exciting because I did really like the first 2 books a lot. I think they were just like kind of 3.5 4-star reads for me, both of them. But I think this one has 5-star potential, so I'm really excited for this one. Get a little romance in the fall. Now the rest of these, I think I'm gonna go through, let's do my physical TBR, because I have quite a few on my physical TBR here. But all of these books I've either recently bought or have had for a while, but we're kind of saving specifically for the fall, just because it has, in one way or another, at least to me, some sort of fall theming, whether it be a little spookier or more academic or just more of a like fantasy romance kind of set in the fall. Okay, so this first book is honestly just a cover buy. I really haven't heard anybody talking about it, but I love this cover so much. It's called The X-Files. It's by Jessica Joyce. It is a romance. I believe it sounds like a second chance romance, which isn't usually my favorite trope, but it looks like it's being set in Napa Valley, and I'll be honest, I don't really know anything else about this book. I love vineyards. Me and my husband, we actually got married at a vineyard, so in the fall, so I think that's just one reason why I really love just the cover of this book is really pretty. And yeah, this just screams fall. I literally bought it the other day and haven't heard anything about it, but I think it'll be a very nice palette cleanser to have a nice little romance, because I have a lot of more like fantasy romance and more heavier books too to read. So this is, I think, the only just like contemporary romance that I have. This book has been on my TBR for a while. It's Jade City by Fonda Lee. I'm very excited for this one too. This is an urban fantasy. I don't think it's really a fantasy romance. I think it's more of an epic fantasy. I've heard nothing but good things about this world. I have a friend that read it and she said it got really emotional and it's really great. So I'm excited. This has been on my TBR kind of since the beginning of the year, and then I bought a copy in like April, I want to say. I bought a copy in June, so I've been trying to get to it all through the summer, but I think the fall, it's a bit big, so I think the fall will be a good time to read this one. Then we have Apprentice to the Villain. This is by Hannah Nicole Mayer? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm obsessed with this cover. It's really adorable. I like all the little like books. Can't really see them, but there's just like a bunch of evil books that are up here. This is the sequel to, what was it called? Assistant to the Villain. I read that book last year. This is a more like comedy or rom-com version of a fantasy romance, where in the first book our main character is working as like the assistant in an office setting to the villain. This isn't gonna be like a very serious book. I remember liking the first one a lot, but it's pretty low stakes and it's more fun. So this will probably be another really good kind of palette cleanser. It's not too long either. So I'm excited because I found the first one to be a lot of fun and really funny, and I really did like it's kind of just like a sweet little romance between the villain and our main character, Evie. So I'm excited for this one because who doesn't love a good villain? Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is the sequel to Powerless, which I haven't talked about on this channel yet. I read it over the summer. It's a YA fantasy romance, but I liked it a lot. I waited a while to read it. I know everyone kind of read it before me, and then this came out this summer. And I'm excited to read it. I liked Powerless a lot. I'm not going to say it was anything like earth-shattering, like this is the most amazing book ever, but I had a fun time with it. It's a YA fantasy romance about a girl who is like an ordinary, I think they're called. She doesn't have any powers. And in this world, everyone has powers, and those that don't have powers, the king like they kind of like go and take them away and just like kill them basically. And it's very dangerous to not have powers in this world. And in the first book, she is kind of like faking it. She's pretending to be like a psychic, and there's some brothers who are princes that she has kind of a thing going on with each one. And it's fun. I'm pretty sure this is going to be another trilogy, so it's going to be this book, and then I guess the next book is going to come out next year. So I'm definitely going to be reading this probably pretty soon while Powerless is still in my head. So maybe sometime in September for this one. All right, then we have Electra by Jennifer Saint. I really like the cover of all of her books, actually. This is just an author that I've been really interested in reading from. I know she has quite a few I believe they're all like Greek god retellings. This isn't a terribly long book. I've actually keep looking at it. So I'm just kind of interested in checking that out. I actually don't really know too much about Electra specifically, but I know she has a bunch of other books that I would really like to read. So this one would be the first one. I believe this isn't compared to perfect for the fans of Madeline Miller's Circe, which is a book I've read and really liked. I read it a few years ago, kind of before I really got back into reading. So we'll give this one a try. I've been holding off, but I think the fall time seems good for this one. Babel, yay, by R.F. Kuang. I say yay because this has been on my kind of TBR just like for the year, just something I've been really wanting to read. It's a bit long, so I've been putting it off. It gives me some fall vibes. It also just seems, I believe there's like an academic setting to it. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I think it will be something that I love once I read it. And I read something by R.F. Kuang earlier this year. I read Yellowface, which I know is like different. This is more of a fantasy setting. So I'm excited to read this one. This is another one I've been wanting to read forever. It's The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. She wrote The Night Circus, which is a book I read this time last year, I think. And I really liked that book. This one, I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about, other than I really liked Night Circus, and this was a book that I picked up a few months ago. Had kind of a fall sort of vibe to it. I know there's gonna be some magic. I just have like such, again, I keep saying fall vibes, but I'm in the mood to read these kind of stories this time of year. So definitely by the end of the year, I will be reading this. And then we have The Familiar. This one's by Leigh Bardugo. I really like Leigh Bardugo. She wrote like the Six of Crows series and Ninth House that I liked a lot. Obviously I was kind of saving this for October, fall again. I'm really excited. I haven't heard, this book came out in June and I like bought it right when it came out, kind of planning on reading it in the fall, but I haven't really heard too much like on YouTube or anything too much about it, like people like liking it or not liking it or anything. So I'm kind of going in a little blind. I know we're in like the Spanish Renaissance and I really like her writing, so I think this is another one again that it's just going to be perfect for the mood. I love fall, if you can't tell. Okay, back to this list. I have a few books that I don't physically own that I know I'm going to be reading by the end of the year. I've got quite a few things saved with the library, so it kind of just depends when I'm going to be getting some of these. So I'll just go through them pretty quick. One, I want to read The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. Very witchy. It sounds really good. Meant to read it last year. Didn't get a chance to. The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. Cover looks very fall, very whimsical, very like kind of cozy fantasy vibes there. Also The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. Similar, just has like such a vibe to it. I'm hoping for like some cozy fantasy time this year. I've been wanting to read Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This was on kind of my like 24 books for 2024, I think I mentioned earlier. That's one I still really want to get to by the end of the year, hopefully And then I also have Lady of Darkness, which I know is a larger series, but I've literally put the first book, Lady of Darkness, on a million TBRs this year, and I have started it, like literally, it's happening. It's gonna happen. I don't know if I'll get through the whole series by the end of the year, but I'm definitely reading at least the first handful of books. It's one of those things. I think earlier in the summer I got into several fantasy romance series, and I liked a lot of them, but I was a little weary of adding just another new one while I was trying to finish those off. Just because I was getting I had like 4 or 5 going at a time. I was just getting a little too confused with things at some point, so I kind of like tried to get away from starting any new series until I had finished a few of them. So now I think I'm in a really good place to do this, and then hopefully, I keep acting like the end of the year is tomorrow, but hopefully within the next couple months I would be able to read at least 2 or 3 of them, hopefully if I like it. And that is going to be my list for my end of the year TBR. Obviously there's going to be some other things that come up that I'm going to want to read. And I'm really like excited for fall and excited for all of these books. And I think I'm going to be able to get through them by December. So thank you so much for watching. I know I took a little break from doing videos, but excited to get back into doing it again and reading all these and documenting them. So if you would like to and haven't already, if you want to subscribe to my channel or like this video, I really appreciate it. If you'd like to leave in the comments what you're reading now or what you plan to read this fall or by the end of the year, I'd be really interested to hear that. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!